America, and welcome to the Homefront. We're so glad that you chose to join us today. My name is Michelle Posey. It's a pleasure to be a host for the show. We have a wonderful dynamite panel of women here today. We'll start it off in just a moment, but I want to thank you for joining us, and I want to invite you to please be a part of the discussion. You know, we have one of those private Facebook groups where you can speak unfiltered. I mean, kind of unfiltered because it's still Zuckerberg, you know, but it's the Homefront Defenders. If you scan the barcode at the bottom of the screen, it will take you to a page where you can click to join. We'll approve it. Then you have a platform where you can join us. You can be a part of the conversation. You can ask questions. We can respond. You can tell us what topics you might want to see covered here on the Homefront. So I want to ask you to please do that because we need your help to stay a part of the conversation. So ladies, today we're going to start off with something this might be difficult. This might be a hard one. I want you to tell the audience your name, and if you were coming out onto a stage, and not coming out, if you were coming out to a stage, like Trump does, you know, with his little dance, what would be your theme song?
I knew you were going to do this.
And cue Allie.
Oh my gosh.
It's always you first, too.
Always,
Yeah.
always. And these questions are like so hard sometimes.
I know.
Okay, because I have like lots of songs going through my mind right now. I would say one of the songs I would think would be a good walkout would Fighter with Christina Aguilera.
Oh,
That was one of mine.
Christina
well,
Aguilera.
yes. I mean, I think
I know.
we're like kindred spirits
we
with that.
We are in that sense.
I like
that was also something I was interested in. But then there's also the Rocky one.
Yes.
Right? And there's so many.
There's so many.
There's so many.
So many good ones.
There's
I was
so
like,
many.
what's an American song? Like, I need an American, like,
Oh, you guys,
rock
maybe
on
what
theme
we'll do
song.
is we'll create a Homefront playlist.
Okay.
You mean I will?
Oh,
Brianna, we'll create a Homefront playlist.
I'll work with
We're
you,
putting you to work. We're
babe.
putting you to work.
That'd be awesome. I think we should have that. Okay. So I like
Yeah,
that
that
song.
actually is a really great idea, actually, like a Homefront playlist, and we could have like Hadass and Chloe, all their songs on there, too.
Oh, that's a great.
Yes.
Oh, don't make me cry again.
You're seeing it live right here. This is how the genius happens.
I don't know. I think I might need to change mine.
What?
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's this one song with Adam, I think it's not Adam, Justin Levy,
Okay.
and it's Baphomet.
I've never heard that.
No idea.
You have to put it on get your phone out and pull that out so we could, while we go down
You know,
the line here.
you know,
It's like, get your hands off our children.
oh.
That's part of the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard that song.
Have
I
you
need
heard
to
the-
hear
Maybe
it.
Black Diddy. I mean, not Black Diddy.
What? Black? What?
Going on?
What I said.
What?
What?
Girl, what?
It's only just
What?
begun.
Live and unscripted, y'all.
It's 10 a.m. We're being silly. Oh my word.
Sorry.
What?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't
know.
I'm
Okay.
How about
I'm
you,
slow
Demi?
today.
It's gonna come later.
It will. It'll come
I,
later.
I had quite a few thoughts.
But tell me your name
right?
first.
Oh yes, I'm Demi. And the
terrible.
question, man, lots of songs come into play, and again, fighter, like warrior songs. Like I
Yeah.
could totally see myself going down on a stage and just being BA, right? But then it occurred to me that my heart is for the children, right? And there's this song, and it's called "Send Me." And it's a beautiful song. It's
that's
a
a
beautiful,
beautiful
Christian
song.
song. And it's Send Me. And, you know,
Wow.
when I was asked, why do you want to be a part of this community, you know, to go and rescue children through our training, that was the first question they asked. Give your name and tell us why. And my response is going to be the same always and forever. If not me, then who? If not now, then when?
Beautiful.
And
so
send
good.
me.
So good.
Send me, and I'll still be that warrior. I'll slice you up. Don't mess
Tell
with
it,
me.
girl.
If you messing with the babies,
Tell it.
you're gonna get it.
Yep.
And that's
I
just
love it.
that's Send Me, and it's just a beautiful, pure song, and that's where my heart is. It's for those
Perfect.
children.
I love that.
So yeah, that would be me. You know,
Perfect.
Cypher.
I can see
That's
that.
beautiful.
I could still go like with all the things and the hair, take the earrings off,
Oh, yeah.
put the hair in the
Yes,
braids,
that's
Hold
right.
the hoops.
Vaseline. You know, I'm still going in.
Nice. I like it.
Well, I'm Brianna, and I think it depends. Like, if we're doing like a walkout song to like, you know, boxing, then it'd be "Immigrant Song" by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
It's a great song.
But if it's like like my anthem, like my walkout song I relate to, it'd be "I Can Do It With a Broken Heart" by Taylor Swift. Because just for I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's an art. That
love
one lyric,
that.
that's so me.
So because I said Black Diddy, the song
Oh,
is
God.
called Black Epstein, and that's why I said that.
Oh,
Because
oh
he's
my
like the
God.
new-
It's the Trump Latinos and Jimmy Levy. That's the name of the song.
Jimmy
It's
Levy,
Black
yes,
Epstein.
yes.
But in the
Oh.
lyrics, it says Baphomet, get your hands off our children. That's like part of the
heard
chorus.
that one.
It's really good.
I was gonna say what sounds fitting is the Trump save the U.S.
Yes, that's good.
Oh, Forge Out of Blow. Or
Yeah.
the Trump Latinos. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
gonna say.
Nice. I like that.
Well, yeah. Well, mine's gonna be very
name
unusual. Oh yeah, my name. My name is Tanya.
M&M
It's not
song.
really like a theme song. It's just
Walk out.
a walkout song that I like. I mean, anything Michael Jackson.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
about him. He's
Or
a
I'm
definite
like,
icon.
yeah. And I don't know why it's popping in my head. Like the very first song came up was Thriller.
Okay.
But I don't think like I'm a zombie or anything. I just think
No.
it's, like it's a pretty intense song,
It
and
is,
I
it's
think
good.
everybody knows it, and that's kind of like
I think
me.
I was 10 when that
So-
song
I
came
love
out.
that. Oh, there's so many. There's so
like
many
it.
good.
We
There's
need
so
like a
many
music
songs.
set, like a karaoke
There's a
night
good
with
one
the
with
home
him
front.
and with Michael
that would
Jackson
be
and
cool.
Janet Jackson. Scream.
Oh
That
yeah,
was a good one.
That would be a good one.
anything Michael Jackson.
All right, I like.
I think I'm
not
too
that
young. I don't
cool.
know that song.
So
Thriller?
No, Scream.
Oh, okay.
I
I
was.
know Thriller.
She's like, I know Thriller.
Really disappointing me.
So my name's Michelle, and I like the song, and I do listen to it a lot. It's like my amp song, or pump up song, whatever you want to call it. But it's "Unstoppable" by Sia.
Oh yeah.
That's a good
and a lot of the
one.
songs, the lyrics are pretty amazing because it talks about, just there's no limit. Sometimes you do things like she talks about drying your tears and still doing it. And I think we do that not just, especially as women, right? Sometimes we do it scared, we do it hurt, we still just keep doing it. But mine would be so choreographed. It would be like lights, fog.
Oh, yeah.
The skim raises up,
Yep.
and it's like,
That's
Come
her.
up from underneath the floor.
I'm gonna add that. Cue that for the walkout.
Yeah.
Okay, good. See?
Yeah.
It would be
I love
totally
it.
choreographed, and then we'd
my
be like, they didn't do it right.
Your
It's
hair-
supposed to be
your
just-
hair
no
is
swinging
like-
from chandeliers, okay?
Oh, stop it. like the
my
wrecking
gosh.
ball.
I think I want a
Well,
wind
that's the
machine.
Sia song.
That
I
think
wanna
a wind
swing from the
machine is
chandelier.
Why don't we just do a wind machine for the show, Homefront?
We should.
And our
When you
hair
come
just
on,
starts
hello
glowing
America.
back.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Should we add that into the budget?
We should.
Add
Okay.
that to the budget. I love
Where's
that.
our
Jim with a
songs.
fan?
Jim.
We need some sponsors.
I mean LaQuisha, not Jim. It's LaQuisha.
I love it. Guys,
LaQuisha.
you never know what's going to happen here on the home front. When we say unfiltered and uncensored, that's really what we mean. And the fun part about it is you get to learn with us. We ask questions. We're getting a visual here. Oh, we're going to try to keep it together, guys.
I think it'd be even funnier if there was a hole and you just came up. And
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think that would be great.
Oh my gosh.
How could any of us be in a bad mood at all?
Right. Oh
Yes.
my God.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Carpenters? Any
I'm so
carpenters
here-
out there? Engineers?
I'm
lot
so
of
here
ideas.
for it. I'm so here for it.
No. You ruin it whenever you say that.
I know I do. I'm giving my age,
Oh
guys.
my
I
God.
almost hate to do this because we are such light spirits today, but I have to tell you about. So I'm also the anchor for Up News, and so lots of times I'll be investigating things reading articles about topics that maybe not everybody's talking about. We've talked about abortion here on the show. I know everybody's got different viewpoints on that, but I have to tell you, did you know that you can pretty much get, it's not called DoorDash, but you can pretty much get a DoorDash abortion.
What?
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 No. Where did you
So
get
I
that
don't mean to
information?
Hold
take
up.
the name DoorDash. I'm saying it's like on demand, delivered
Oh.
to you.
Concierge?
Concierge abortion on demand.
Where did
I
you
took
read
that way too literally.
Okay, so
Oh my
I'm like, you can
gosh.
DoorDash an abortion.
basically this is how it works.
What state
you know,
is that in? I have so
Well-
many questions.
okay, good.
I'm
glad you have
very
questions.
confused.
I know, and you're our health person that you know everything. Okay, so let me just tell you how this works.
How is this even safe?
The reason I sought this out is because, we're about a year away from the Roe v. Wade being overturned. And so people are starting to now look at statistics. Actually, abortions are on the increase. How is that when the rights have been kicked back to the states, and a lot of states have a complete abortion ban? So why would there be an uptick in abortions? Here's how that works. So we've got about 7 states, of course, all blue states in the United States, that operate under what we call shield laws. Shield laws used to be for journalistic integrity to not have to divulge who your source was, but they're using it, a perverted version of it, for the abortion industry. So if I live in a state where there's a ban on abortion, and I want to get an abortion, I can call a provider or clinic in one of these shield law protected states. They basically do a telehealth visit. So I'm thinking there's no blood work drawn, there's no ultrasound. Upon that telehealth visit, they will write you a script for the 2, I'm going to butcher these, but it's misoprostol and mifepristone, the 2 drugs that do a medical abortion. You get the prescription filled, and in the privacy of your own home.
That is so
Wait,
disgusting.
you can like just take a pill and have an abortion? I thought they had to like, go up all in there.
No, this
That
is a
is
medical abortion.
very unsafe.
Telehealth abortion, and what they're banking on is that during COVID, the restrictions for telehealth loosened extremely.
Very much so.
This is now creating, they're saying that this telehealth
You still can't do it
abortion-
over state lines, though.
I don't know. I mean,
no,
it's
emergency.
a phone call. If it's a phone call that they're making,
No,
and
it's
all
not
visual.
legal.
7
It's
states.
not legal. They can. The only reason why COVID doctors could go state to state and do telehealth for COVID was because there was an emergency use, or emergency that was in place. Once they relieved the emergency, because I trust me, I would love it if our doctors who are only licensed in Florida could do telehealth in New York, but they can't. So
the
there
7
is certain states that can.
Yes. And that's what I'm. So if you're,
And
if
they're
you
just
want to know,
shipping pills off?
California, Colorado, Maine. I could keep naming them. Yes, if you can call, get a telehealth visit. They are shielded from. They're completely given immunity.
The Western states.
So what I'm learning, and of course, I'm with you. I'm not a medical person, but what I'm learning is that some of the extreme effects of these medical abortions can be extreme hemorrhaging, sepsis. What if you have an ectopic pregnancy?
A what?
That's where it's in the fallopian tubes, right? So if you're not getting an ultrasound, just a ton of questions come to my mind. So I wanted to get your feedback on it.
I just wanted to say something on that, the abortion part. There was, when I was younger, which was just a couple years ago.
Yesterday.
I had girlfriends who actually, got abortions, and or one that was going to and one that did. And what stopped the one who didn't was that ultrasound. Because she was like, I can't have this baby. She had her reasons. But then they went and brought her in, and she was, I think, maybe 6 or 7 weeks, somewhere right around there. She went in, and they gave her an ultrasound. And this was one of the good ones, maybe you could say, a good clinic. They turned the screen to her. Usually they don't, but
I don't know
and she turned around and saw the heart beating, and she was like, I just can't. And she's like, I can't. And they did that on purpose for her. They told her that afterwards because at the time, this is, like I said, a couple years ago, at the time, it was like almost 50 or 60% of women who actually didn't want to get the abortion after they actually saw the heartbeat.
I don't know why
Well, there's some
that's
states
not
that you have to do that.
required. That should
In
be
some states you
required.
do. It is required in some states. I can't recall because I read an article almost a year ago, but there are states that require you to do an ultrasound.
Yeah, but they don't show you the
No,
ultrasound.
they allow you to listen and see. They are required to do so.
I wonder what state.
I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up during our break or something. And,
Yeah.
But if that could just like 50%, I mean, that's a pretty, but I think most of the people that work in those clinics, they don't really, most of them don't.
I've heard arguments that the reason why we should keep abortion legal is because people are just going to do it illegally and unsafely, but they're doing it now legally.
So ironic. I just had this conversation with a lady sitting next to me getting a pedicure, and we just happened to be discussing some of the topics that we've discussed on the show several weeks ago. And she goes, oh, I'm for abortion. And I'm like, why? Why are you for abortion? She goes, I would never do it. I would never do it. But I wouldn't discourage someone else not to do it. And I said, why? Why would you knowingly tell your friend, go ahead and have that abortion? And I know that I love to throw the Bible in here and I sometimes get poo-pooed on it, but what does the word say? We are not to commit murder. That's murdering. You are ultimately making the choice. you choose to kill a living life. Even though it's not out of your womb yet, it's still living. And so I said to her, I really want to question you on this, because she too said, oh, in my country, I have watched many women die, or they've end up giving birth, the child survives, and they have no mother. And I said, but why is that? And again, I said to her, I don't want to be combative, but I want to question you and not give pushback. But why do you think so many women go to do abortions? What is the real reason behind the thought of not having a child? And, I kind of gave her some of my story of my situation when I had my baby. And she goes, oh, but see, you're a good mom. You chose to do that. And I said, it wasn't really an option. In my mind, there was no other option. And so she goes to tell me that some of these women who do this have been beaten, don't want to have children to grow up in this world. That's not a good enough excuse for me. Or what if they were raped and or assaulted
Less
and
than 1%.
and I said the same thing. I said, that's a 1%. And I know someone who gave birth to an infant while she was a young lady. She got raped and she gave birth to this child and absolutely loves this child. Well, not everybody's like that. I understand that. I do. Trust me. I understand. I cannot relate, but I can understand based on the experiences I've had with other people who shared their heart and poured it out.
I understand where you're coming from with, like, a religious sense, how it says it's murder, but God also did give us, free will.
He did.
And so I feel like by, making abortion completely illegal, you're kind of playing God and telling someone that they can't.
Well, it's a heavy conversation, but you're
here's
still
my thing.
committing.
So you can, but the consequences usually for taking a life are very clear.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have free will. God says, but if you do this, I will do this.
Yeah, God says, though.
Yes.
So
But we're not living in this
they
world.
will have those consequences. God will give them that, not us.
But in every other facet of our society, if you take an innocent life, even if you kill a pregnant woman, they will charge you for 2
Yes.
deaths.
What's that lady's name? Casey something?
Casey...
Well, not Casey Anthony, but
Casey Peterson.
that's the one. He got charged for murdering both his wife and his unborn child.
So don't tell me we don't recognize it, because
That's
we do.
disgusting that the government actually says that we don't.
I'm not
have to.
disagreeing. I believe that it is life. I just feel like it's not right to, say that just because we believe something that everyone else has to believe in. It should be
Okay, so
illegal.
this was my discussion with the woman sitting beside me, and I said, "What's the root of the cause of this woman not wanting to have the child? What's the fear? What are you so afraid of? Your parents?" My ex was like, "Oh, my parents could never." I said that baby's going nowhere. She's
Feeling unprepared, maybe not
unprepared,
supported.
the fear of becoming a parent when you're not ready. Well, then don't be having sex. You're not ready to have children. Stop the adultery.
She said
Stop
it.
the premarital sex. You don't need it. If you are not going to be mature enough to come forth with this infant, then why are you even having sex? I'm just going to be that person.
I mean,
saying
yeah,
it.
I agree, but to think realistically, people are still going to do it. I mean, there's nothing you can really do. You can't make sex illegal. Sex before marriage
and so
illegal.
this was another argument, discussion, debatable with this woman. She said similar things, and I said, but you know what? I know a woman from my younger years. She had gotten pregnant accidentally.
Because that does happen.
She kept it happens. It happens.
And you can protect
She
yourself
kept
all
that
day
baby.
long, and it can still happen.
She kept the first one, but then she got pregnant again, aborted. Second time, aborted. Third time, aborted. Now, what are you really
No,
doing?
yeah.
You're
Well,
just having
that's-
sex to
I
have
think
sex.
that's a-
and
That's
then
abortion
that's a
as
quick-
birth control.
Yes,
That is
exactly.
disgusting.
I was
That
just
is
going to say that.
That's
but
Abortion is
birth
not a
control
form of birth. It should not
is
be
But,
used as a
wild.
form
but
of
what
birth control.
Michelle was talking about with these pills, there's like, if you start digging into what actually happens to your body during those, and the hemorrhaging possibility is very high. Not to mention the fact that you're going to be in severe amount of pain. severe
And they
amount
don't
of
prepare
pain.
you for any of this.
They don't.
And they
you
don't.
know.
They don't.
No.
There's no one there saying, okay, Brenda, it's okay. You're going to get through this.
Do you
Let the
remember-
bleeding, let all the things
It's
come
like
out.
a-
There's no one there to
like a-
coddle
it's
you
a
or
miscarriage,
to help you or
but-
walk you through it.
You know,
they're just saying,
It's a
here you
medically
go.
induced.
Boom.
Well,
done.
like you know how they give you sometimes Pitocin when you're going through labor.
Which
it's
intensifies your cramps.
intensification.
And
so
it's
like
painful.
your
is
normal labor, but times 1,000. That's what that is, and that yes,
Yes, that's
absolutely.
exactly what
it is,
So your
honey.
body, your uterus is just cramping down and forcing that whole lining to come off.
So this is the first time I'm hearing about a pill.
I
that
want
you
well,
can
it's like
take.
Plan B.
I
Did you
want
ever
to
have
explain
Plan
this
B?
to Brianna. When you have a baby, your body chooses, actually the baby chooses when the baby's ready to come out.
Yeah.
It's an oxygen release. So the baby decides that it sends some kind of chemical, I can't remember the name of the chemical, through the mom to tell the mom that it's time to release the baby. So that's how that happens. And when you chemically induce that, you're creating something that's unnatural occurring at a time that it's not supposed to occur within your body, which is what causes the immense amount of pain. So I mean,
Yes. I look at it like, okay, so do you remember, I can say this because she's my daughter, but when we thought you had strep. And so we were just doing a telehealth visit because you were really not feeling well. It was very easy, wonderful that, can you send me a picture of what your throat looks like? And real quick, you did it, boom, boom. And then they wrote a script. We went to the pharmacy, picked it up.
Yep.
Like that, but only abortion.
And
That's
then
basically
I-
birth control.
I
That's-
do want to
that's
say
not
one
right.
other thing. Is there any limit to how far along you have?
well, that's
that's
the
a
other
good
thing.
question.
So
Without-
because if you're forcing a miscarriage, forcing an abortion, I should say, you are at some point going to deliver something, and if you're
Yes.
far along, who is mentally gonna? Because that is, I don't know who.
And to my knowledge, that's the purpose of the ultrasound, is to determine how far along you are,
Right.
so they know what
Yeah.
they're dealing with. If that's not
to not require one.
and to give these providers complete immunity. So what happens when that scared person, and what is the parental involvement in this?
Probably none.
Zero. I
And
mean,
these-
think
Are you
about
scanning
it.
an ID to check
Think
their?
about it.
I mean,
they're letting 16-year-olds go to the doctor appointments without parents now. They're doing it right in your schools. If you
Yes.
are going to a public school and you have a guidance counselor or a nurse in your nurse's aide for your student, your child, guess what? Without your knowledge, they're providing all this information
And where to go.
and where to go, how to
What numbers to
receive it.
call.
Don't tell mommy and daddy, but this is what we're going to do to help you. We're going to be your friend right
They
there.
probably have Plan B sitting in the nurse's office.
Come on,
Probably.
right there.
Yep.
Right
This
there.
is why elections are so important. Vote in August.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
for the
Absolutely.
right people.
Yes.
Well, Plan B just delays for.
No.
sweetheart.
It
actually-
causes your,
causes the
your
same
cycle
thing.
right now, and that's why, because it's shedding the lining and whatever's in there.
Yeah,
coming out too.
you're not going to feel good after that one.
No.
But if you're not far, you're not really, baby wise, don't have maybe a fetus in there, you're not going to be as in much pain, but it's still a forced
And how many
muscle.
women, young women, who do this out of fear because they don't know what to do, where to go, or how to deal with this? How many of you out there who actually had abortions? How are you feeling now? Like I know a particular person. Alana knows this person as well, and Alana was very young at the time, but this young lady, beautiful, has a whole life ahead of before her, and she found out she was pregnant, and she had to do an abortion. And she could not live with this thing in her anymore. And I'm not talking about the baby, but the idea and the whereabouts, the knowledge, the knowing that she actually took this action, this course of action, and she has never been the same. Imagine doing that by yourself, Brianna.
Someone that's had one.
Imagine being this young 18, 19-year-old young lady that you are. You're 19, right? You'll be 20. Imagine having to do this without having mom right by your side. Could you imagine what that experience would be like? I
Absolutely.
know.
You know what?
I don't
And I'm
know.
going to keep it right here through the break. I do want to come back and talk more about this. I think when we have these discussions as women, it's honest and truthful, but it can also be healing, because we know we're talking to an audience. We've all got a past, and I want to make sure that you feel welcomed here to stay tuned. This is a heavy topic, but listen, we're talking about healing a
informative.
nation. And we're going to do that through letting us talk about the healing process. Guys, not that it really fits into what we're talking about at all, but we are really proud to announce that we have a new partner for our affiliate. Guys, we can't sit here and talk about this and have this open, wonderful dialogue for free. It takes money to keep the lights on. So if you could navigate over to patriottv.store, two things. Patriot Mobile is available there, and you can also get your autographed copy of Michael Flynn's movie DVD copy. I always say send it to your best friend that's a liberal. Make them cry tears. We'll be back with more Homefront. Stay tuned.
We're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Sounds rolling. All 3 cameras. We're good. Andy, speed.
Is there any regrets that you have in life? I should sit here and say, yeah, I got a lot of regrets. But when I look back on my life and I understand the lives that were lost, I mean, I'm sitting here with you. And I can tell my story.
Former National Security Advisor, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, pleaded guilty today to lying to the FBI.
He was one of the most respected generals in the military.
He was, by definition, the most dangerous possible person for Donald Trump to hire.
Really brilliant military career, serving 33 years.
Why was he being so elusive?
Mike Flynn told the truth and faced life in prison.
Every American needs this historical DVD keepsake. Flynn delivered the truth, whatever the cost. Hand signed by General Michael Flynn, one of America's most treasured military heroes. Order now at the Patriot TV store. Go to Patriot TV, click on Store, and grab a once-in-a-lifetime chance to own a treasured piece of American history. And get your own personal download link to watch America's most talked-about movie, as well as a DVD hand-signed by General Michael Flynn. Use promo code PTV at checkout to get special savings. The Patriot TV store. Incredible savings and a secure, hassle-free shopping experience.
Hi, America. Welcome back to the Homefront. You know, when you're talking about your home and your family, not every topic is full of joy and excitement. Sometimes there are those heavy topics that you have to have discussion on, and what better place to do it than amongst friends and over a good cup of coffee or whatever's in their cups. Guys, you know, something that was brought up during the break, and if I have your permission to just get very raw and real with you, we don't want to come across as judgmental or you know, condescending in any way to anybody out there with a past. And so if you would allow me the chance, I want to just speak very, very freely. I had an abortion. I was 17 years old. I was underage, probably shouldn't have done it, but somebody that I was with that was older found a way for me to get an abortion. Probably had no business being there. I didn't have the help of my mom. I didn't have the help of my dad. I really went through it alone. And on top of it, I graduated high school about 3 months later. The reason I tell you that story is because today, sitting in front of you, I'm a born-again Christian. God has forgiven me. And that is why I have the stance that I have about abortion. Let me tell you what that looks like when you fast forward through life. Go to college, go on with your life, decide you want to have children, and God wrestles with you a little bit to want to heal you, to accept his healing. But in your mind, you're traumatized. You're traumatized because you know that you ended life that God meant to bless you with. Then you have miscarriage, nearly die from childbirth because of what you've traumatized your body with. then you go on to have obviously healthy, wonderful children. And I know today I'm forgiven. I'm right there with you. I'm forgiven. But now my voice is not meant to judge you, but it's meant to tell you the truth. I don't want you to go through what I went through or what other people went through, because I know what that conscience feels like, to know I didn't do the right thing, and I didn't have anybody to help me either. So I'm standing there with you. I'm kind of bridging that gap with you. It's okay if you've been through it, but guys, what's more important is what we do now going forward. We need the women to speak up who have done that, to say, guys, whoa, this is the one thing that God gave women, to be able to birth life. It is the biggest battleground that the enemy is going after right now in this nation and across the world. He wants you to think that it's choice, that it's something that will disrupt your plan, that it's something that you can joke about under a feminist umbrella and never have to really come to terms with it. No, it is something that haunts you through the rest of your life. You deal with it and you work through it, but they never counsel you, they never offer you more help, and they never follow up, because if they did, they would realize the trauma they're committing to these women, and real feminists would speak up. So I just wanted to share that with you publicly, because I hope you look at us and you see someone just like yourself. We're not passing judgment, but that's why this is so important. I'm thinking of the young girl who's going to bleed out in her bathroom, and her parents are going to come home from work and find that, because we have abortion on demand. You know what? The pro-life community told us this a long time ago. They said that the other side of the aisle, the pro-abortion aisle, wouldn't stop until they had abortion on demand, and that is what they're doing. So we need to wake up, America. Sorry. Got a little heavy there, but I just wanted to tell you, we're family.
That was good, and I
yeah.
appreciate your vulnerability. I think that's what I love most about this show, is that no matter what the topic is, we're allowed to be as vulnerable as we can, because we have people that are in the audience that can resonate, or and if they don't know someone's story, they can still have some kind of understanding. And I feel so much closer to you. And as a friend, I just want to say that I love you so much for just being strong that way, to be that vulnerable. And so I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. And this is the other reason that, God has funny ways of showing up in someone's life. But when I decided to run for office, the first thing I heard him say is, take that trauma, take that seed that the enemy tried to plant in you to destroy you, and I want you to broadcast it to people unapologetically, that this is why I stand here and tell you we can't murder babies in the womb. And I'm not doing it out of judgment. I'm doing it because I've been there. And that gives me the permission to say it with so much authority, and I will continue to. So I think that's why I want to have this conversation. We have to change something in culture. What at 17 years...
It's not going to happen overnight.
No, but what at 17 years old made the situation I was in, made it seem like nobody would ever adopt this baby, that his family or my family couldn't have joined forces to raise. I don't know.
You're not old enough at that point to
But we
really
have to
make
have-
those.
yeah.
You don't have life experience.
Yeah.
Like as adults, we can look and say, oh, I got 25 options for you right now besides that.
Right.
But at that age, it's it's in the moment, and I can't do this, and they shut down it.
I mean, and then don't be 12 and have been raped, and then your step parent or whoever it was that molested you, and then like you're pregnant, and then they take you to Planned Parenthood like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine that kind of situation? Like, you feel like there's no other option.
Right.
Like, what do you do then? And then you grow up and you're just like, well, God hates me because I killed, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a wild situation, and you never know what somebody's
But we're talking about
with.
pregnancy, like abortion as
demand, right?
Yeah.
And that's a totally different issue.
Well, as birth control.
That's just, I'm just imagining like the mental gymnastics that the enemy is trying to play with you, like while you're going through all of these things and all of these different situations. Which is why I hate this time.
I do too.
I know.
Are we got something else yet?
So can I share
it's a
one other
little
thing?
heavy.
On a happier note, I have to tell you, this is how good God is. So when it came time for us to have kids, I had mentioned to my husband, I said, oh, God's not going to give me children. I want to be a parent more than anything, but he's not going to trust me with that. And he said, why not? And I said, so I told him, and he had kind of already known. I said, but that's how I view it. Like I can't trust you. And he said, oh, baby, that's not how God works.
Aww.
And that's what I want to tell you at home. Oh, baby, that's not how God works. And your tomorrow is going to be so much brighter because of it. And he's going to take what was meant to destroy you, and it's going to be your biggest platform. So please don't lose hope. Guys, I will change the topic, but I
Wait,
love that.
no, we have resources. Didn't we want to give resources?
Oh, yes.
We have
Yes,
resources.
We do. There are resources. Well, here locally where we're filming,
Locally, yes.
we know that there is a location, Pregnancy Solutions, I think is something that's located here in Sarasota County. And what was the other one?
Sarasota Medical Pregnancy Center, I believe.
Where you can get not just ultrasounds, but
no, they run you through your whole pregnancy. Like if you are feeling like I don't have a doctor, I can't do this kind of thing, they'll do the ultrasound. They have all the doctors there that actually deliver at the local hospital. They also have like where you can get into daddy classes or mommy classes.
That's good.
You know, learn
can
how
we
to
do
take
it
care
even
of the
if
baby.
we're not expecting? That's so
I
fun.
don't know, but they can earn diapers. So
Yeah.
I might need those at
There's
some point.
diapers,
one-
formula.
There's
all that
one
stuff.
in Apollo Beach that's donation funded, donation funded. And I know 2 of the women that started it. They're lovely Christian women.
Nice.
And it's called Abundant Life in Apollo Beach. And it's amazing. They throw baby showers and they walk through the pregnancy with you. Even if you want to adopt, they'll walk through it. I mean, it is such a calling. They're just beautiful, beautiful women that just want to help.
Amazing.
I love
Help
that.
these
I love
women that are struggling with either being alone or trafficked or whatever it is.
Right. Reach out to your local community to be able to find those resources for you. Part of what we're doing here is we're bringing our faith with us, right? We bring our faith right here with our cups of coffee to talk to you. So that's going to kind of bridge to our next section here. I'm sure many of you have seen by the time that this airs, we recently had the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, Butker, I think is his last name, showed up to give the commencement address at a Catholic Catholic college graduation, and just let it spill out, right? His faith of what he believes. It's a Catholic college. Like you would think they wanted somebody, who could honestly deliver the truth, but he was bold enough to take that into the public square. So I want to ask you, how do you in your lives, how do you work that? How do you bring your faith without, in love in kind of what you're doing? Or do you just keep it kind of separate because of the cancellation culture thing?
I'm not scared. Are you scared, Allie?
I'm not scared. Girl,
She said, bring it.
so do I look scared?
Look at that face.
What did you say your walkout song was? You're not scared.
Fighter, yeah. Well, I was at a speech, I gave a speech on the Courage Tour, and I opened with my pronouns are Mama Bear, try me. So I'm not afraid.
I love it.
But I do think it is important to walk out your faith, right? Like we're commanded to do that, walk out your faith. And I used to not be very vocal about it, but I do think that it is the reason why I do what I do. I mean, there was obviously some kind of calling for me to walk into. God always has a purpose for people. Whether you believe in him or not, there's a purpose for you.
Yes.
And you will eventually submit to the God of the universe. And so understanding that and knowing that and taking that leap forward to do what I do now, I think there's only one option, to just give him the glory, So... And I don't care what anybody says about it.
It's amazing. I know, Demi, we had your daughter on the previous episode. She's a law enforcement officer. We're so grateful for people like her. But she was saying she brings the Lord right there with her. And what better business to do that in than defending and protecting.
Yeah. She really does. And a lot of, I think she said it on the show, a lot of the prisoners or the soon-to-be inmates, they thank her. They actually thank her because the way she does it, she doesn't belittle them. She doesn't, make them feel little than, less than. She basically is the hands and feet of the Lord on the streets. That's good. And she exemplifies that. She models that all the time.
Well, it's your foundation. And if you're, especially when in this whole political arena that we're in, that we find ourselves in, even in this, what we're currently seeing as citizens, like if you're not grounded in something that's bigger than you.
Yeah.
And that can keep you focused and in times of need and in times of struggle and in times of doubt and desperation, you have something to look to. Like, I am the child of a king, and he gives me my strength to get through whatever it is that I'm dealing with. That it's extremely helpful. There's nothing like that. I mean, I don't have people in my life like that.
Right, exactly. Well, and I think about it, wasn't it,
Someone
I'm
that
not
can
sure
help
if it was Exodus or one of the books in the Old Testament.
awesome.
I remember, the Israelites were not obeying God. And so to make up for it, they said, okay, now we promise, now we'll do what you told. We're going to go into that land and occupy it. And he said, no, don't go. If you go, I'm not, because you should have done it here.
Yeah.
You're not doing it now. Don't go. I'm not going with you. And they were kind of in their own stubbornness. And that's what I feel like the battle is today is like, Lord, don't let me step there if you're not going before me and with me and over me and all the, so.
Wasn't that Moses who said that? If you're not going to be there, I don't want to go.
I don't want to go.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. Yep. Do you feel, Brianna, to kind of our younger generation, do you feel like on social media or even just hanging with friends, is faith something you feel comfortable talking about, or do you try to like avoid it because you don't really want to offend anybody?
Depends on the platform. TikTok is more like, I guess like the algorithm's a little different. If you like something, you'll see more of it. So when you post something, it's going to go to the audience that typically like is like-minded.
Yeah, so you don't get the hate.
But I mean, Instagram, especially Reels, it's a lot different, I've noticed. So it just kind of depends on the platform. But I mean,
what about when you're hanging out? When you're over at somebody's house, or you're having your little campfire outside, does that ever come up, or is it like?
My goodness, like how we go when we have our little bonfires, and like my friends, they don't exactly, most of them really aren't Christian. I have a broad friend group, but there's one certain group that isn't really Christian. They're not really living righteously. But I mean, you'd be surprised the talks that we will have when I'm kind of the only sober one out there, making sure that they're, being a babysitter. And like, when they kind of get to, when they reach that point of the bottle, when they're kind of getting a little down there and they're like, opening up and having some some good conversations are had out there. And
it's because their inhibitions are
gone.
Are low. They're out of their own minds, like right. They're not judging themselves.
That's
and so
why
they're able to have the conversations.
That's why I stay friends with them, because like if I ditch them because they're living sinful lives, then who's going to help them?
You're the example for them.
But can I just say, as a mom, so this is how God's always using you and always training you. Because as a mom, my prayer is, I don't want her there. But that's my mom prayer. Let's move her over here. And he may be going,
I need her there.
I know. Oh, we got to talk.
Listen here, Jesus.
Jesus sat with the sinners.
Jesus.
Listen, you said you wanted to change the world. He gave you babies that have the same goal that you do, so you can't complain.
That's awesome. You bring your faith and your opinion and everything with you in what you do.
I don't know
if
and
you
her boxing gloves. No.
I got them hanging from my rearview mirror too. I do.
I love it. But so you took a big stand. I don't know if a lot of our viewers at home know. Some of you do. But Tanya, after coming through what we went through with COVID, and I'm going to say it again because we'll probably get banned. COVID.
Oh my God, Mom.
Did we say COVID?
She,
19.
She had a heart. She had a heart and a compassion for those who were not able to get treatment that they wanted or weren't feeling listened to. And so you took it upon yourself and really put yourself out there.
She put her foot down.
Tell America what you did.
Oh, which
what you
part?
started?
The
All
clinic, or I mean, it really honestly started because I messed with my kid in school, both my kids. Went through that whole mask exemption event to really getting my children secured with an exemption form to not wear masks in school because they are very young. They were 5. One of them was just starting kindergarten.
Oh, baby.
It was his first 2 weeks in school, and of course our county broke the law and decided to mask the kids anyway. And long story short, my 5-year-old, was told after the mask form was given to his teacher that he had to sit by the window with the window open. And he couldn't sit with the other kids in class because he could have COVID. And so they put him by the window, and as a 5-year-old, his first experience in school, he tells me this, day 1, picking him up in the car rider line. Day 3, fast forward, he was in the car, got in the car with a mask on. And I said, baby, why do you have a mask on? You don't have to wear a mask. And he said, Mom, I just want to play with my friends. They won't let me play with my friends unless I put this on. And I was like, okay, that's it, ripping him out of school, homeschooled. And, obviously there was a lot more that went into that. But I was also got to meet some incredible people in the medical field. I just started making calls saying this is not fair, this is not right, no mom should have to deal with this. I met so many moms and dads at that school that were like, oh my gosh, what do we do? What do we do? And of course I organized protests there.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, well,
it was good.
You know. But I mean, it wasn't to be aggressive. It was to be that, there is a right to be had here, and you're doing something illegal, and I'm not going to stand here for it.
I feel like so many civil lawsuits should have been filed over that.
Absolutely.
So many.
And then, I met so many wonderful doctors who were on our side saying this. And I was a medic years ago. I knew that it made no sense to be masked. It actually carried germs into your face.
Yes, it does.
And how is a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old not going to drop that mask on the bathroom floor and put it back on?
Yes.
So logically, I'm thinking, this is insanity. So I got all this support from doctors, like we need to write letters, which led me to getting to know all these doctors in the state of Florida and elsewhere, so that we were kind of in a position where I could actually start reaching out to these amazing people and finding that all, like other people like me, were afraid to go to their doctor. Now they were being, forced vaccinated, shamed, those type of things, and they started avoiding their health concerns, and because they didn't want to go to their doctor, they were scared. So I said, well, I got to make a clinic. So we started a clinic, and it was intended to just have doctors there who are non-judgmental, that are not going to force you to do anything, and give true informed consent. And informed consent is a very large ball to tackle. There's a lot to that. And really just walk the walk with their patients, and that's how we started We the People Health and Wellness.
I love it.
And so now you can come there, and it's the most amazing clinic.
It is.
in
It's
all
the best
of-
clinic.
I walked in there. I was so impressed with the cleanliness, the people that greeted you at the door. Yeah. I mean, they're wonderful. Even the people that are past the front desk.
Yes.
Like, they are just amazing.
Well, we
They
talk
really
about
are.
that we have I've never run a clinic before, so I can't say this happens or doesn't happen, but every morning we have a staff meeting, and we talk about everybody coming in that day. So we're on full awareness of who's coming in. We need to know their first name. We need to make sure they've got water and they're out. My pet peeve is I hate waiting in the waiting room. I absolutely hate that at a doctor's office. So we always try to get them in ASAP. So we're always trying to run on schedule. And then that doctor has that liberty of taking the time, because we don't take insurance, Medicare, or Medicaid. So they can take that time with that patient and get to know them. And so everybody naturally there has this family kind of...
It was a really beautiful experience, and I was there
Yes.
just to pay for my sister to have treatment.
Well, and I love
amazing.
it because when I walk in through the front office or for the front lobby, I remember one time I came through and there was a young couple there with a young baby. I may or may not have stopped to go.
Oh yeah, we all do.
How could you not?
I know,
They're
but the
unreal.
look of relief on their face, like
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah,
you're
thank
going
goodness.
to respect what we say.
We've had people crying, thanking us for having it, just crying. Like, so many patients that we see their children, they are like, I was just fired from our pediatrician. Well, why? Because I don't want to give my 6-month-old shots. I just don't think it's
6
right
shots.
for us. And she told us we can't be seen here anymore. And I already have these 2 older kids that, that's all we've known for our doctor. And that's a scary feeling, because not having a doctor for your kids, what if something, that's a mother knows that feeling.
Absolutely.
And so they come in there and they're just like relieved, like you're saying. Or people who come in that are like, I have something to tell you, and you're like, what? And they're like, I had to get the vaccine and I'm having some major chest pain, and I just want somebody to listen
Yeah.
and believe me. And we're like, of course we believe you. Come in, let's just get you looked at. We don't need to get into all of the whys and hows, but your health is important. And then they just start breaking down. I've had firefighters in there, big burly dudes that are vaccine injured that just start crying.
So
It's very.
I want to ask a question.
they
'cause
single?
I'm sure the audience might.
so sorry.
Might question this.
Are
and
they
it's-
single?
and-
You're a hot
I'm so
mess.
sorry. She
She's
said
a-
firefighters.
I know.
Goodness
She is a
gracious.
mess.
I'm sorry.
But my question to
No,
you
she's
is
not.
this.
No, I'm not.
And if you guys are thinking this, I'm hoping I'm doing the right thing here. But I know that there's always a question about insurance and why clinics like yours doesn't accept insurance. Is it because you want to prevent the government from saying yes or no? What
Well,
does that look like?
Ooh, can we come back with that?
Yes.
After?
Okay,
'Cause
sorry.
so I want you to go refill your cup of coffee.
Yes.
Go to mypillow.com, get you some slippers. Use the promo code UP. We'll be right back with more talk about why we want to keep Big Brother out of our healthcare. We'll be right back with more Homefront.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever.
For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great.
With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Welcome back to the Homefront. We're a hot mess here right now. But I hated to take that little break because we're in the middle of a good discussion. So you were just asking Tanya about her clinic really not accepting insurance. So go ahead, Tanya.
Yeah, so that's part of the system. And the system, if you look at any country like Canada that has healthcare, throughout, you're part of this system, right? So you can only do X, Y, Z upon approval of the system, whether you look at that from any standpoint, right? Anytime you get into a system. If we were to take Medicare, Medicaid, insurance, we are literally governed by their rules. And as something as simple as, I'm sure you guys can all relate to a simple example of, I hit my head and let's say I have to go into the doctor because I'm having these migraines. Well, you go into the doctor because now you're having these migraines because you know you were hit on the head. The doctor knows you were hit in the head, but you're charted in the system as diabetic. So the insurance pays out certain amount of money for certain ailments. And when you start doing that, you start kind of checking off these little boxes, and that's why you see your doctor's back typing in there because they're checking off all these boxes. When you start kind of checking off those boxes, you're eliminated from moving forward to getting that MRI that you need because your doctor could have charted you a certain way so that diabetes doesn't mean that you get to go have that MRI if he charted you that way. So there's all these different things, and doctors, believe it or not, and I'm not saying all of them do, there are a lot of doctors who chart things a certain way so they can make a lot more money.
Sure.
Because that's part of it. The other thing is a lot of stuff a clinic needs to do to report up, like medical billing and things like that. The insurance will only pay for certain things, so your doctor is not able to even give you medication for certain things without ICD-10 codes. Yeah. And those codes mean everything. So and without getting into too much of that detail, what it keeps us from being able to do is or keeps us from having to go through those hoops is since we're direct primary care, we don't take those. We actually can just get you labs ordered. Any lab that you need to have ordered.
Right.
And no one's going to ask us what diagnosis code does she have? Because when our patients will take their lab form and use their insurance, we're not telling them they have to, but they want to. They take it over, they want to use their insurance. The lab calls us and says, what are those diagnosis codes? Why does she need to have a vitamin D level?
Well, we need to figure out what it is before we treat her. I mean, that's obviously why. Like, you have to test before you treat.
Yeah.
You're not going to give a diagnosis and then figure out what's going on. Like, that's how they do it backwards. It doesn't make any sense.
I never thought of it
They
that
do it
way.
backwards.
Yeah, it's so insane.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm asking is because, again, I had said earlier that my sister wanted to get an appointment, so I did all the work for her. And she's like, why don't they take insurance? I'm like, why would you want the government involved? You don't want
any of that.
You don't want it. And you know what they did to her?
she can now come in though, and she can get seen and have a doctor actually talk to her.
Exactly.
Give her time.
Not 15 minutes in and out.
No, because they're trying to make money. They're like, oh, I can only see. They only have 7 minutes
in between each patient.
7 minutes.
And then
How
you
much
wonder
are you
why
going to
you're
go through it?
On hold for so long.
And this is why, you know, they have their back to you, and you're like, hello, look at my
face.
They can't.
Yeah.
It's a system. It's a rat race, and there's so much more that goes into that.
Yeah.
Well, and I would think as a doctor, I mean, I'm grateful. My sister is in healthcare. She's an angel. She looks after people just like an angel would. She's just her type of personality. But I would think that they would probably tell you these same stories. Like, yeah, it is kind of a farm where we're just constantly like having to. Those that love the practice of medicine, I would imagine their heart is probably, oh, I hate doing it this way with all these regulations.
Because it's all paperwork.
Yeah.
It's all paperwork. Yeah.
It's checking boxes. This is why they make you go in for like colonoscopies and mammograms, because a certain percentage of their practice during a certain age group has to have a certain percentage that are getting the mammograms. Otherwise, they don't get a bonus at the end of the year. Or a certain percentage at a certain age have to have a colonoscopy. Because if not, they don't pay, the insurance won't pay them that. So this is why they're pushing you. I'm going to even just call it out. During COVID, they were giving percentage bonus funds
for using certain medications.
for their patients who were vaccinated, all of that, the implementing mask policies, they were getting bonuses.
How many patients they had on ventilators, they were getting extra money for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And for every type of drug they were providing that they didn't even need, they were being, even those that died, who may have died of a heart attack, and yet they're being marked as COVID death.
You know what people don't talk about enough?
What's that?
The quality of food at hospitals.
Oh, it sucks.
How is it that you are supposed to be a hospital that's trying to take care of someone's ailments,
I need a cup.
and you have a McDonald's in the hospital? Or the food nutrition at the cafeteria is subpar.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
It's
it
disgusting.
blows my mind how terrible.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And then you have to have a certain diet if you're diabetic, or if you just had heart surgery like my dad did. And they were like, oh no, you can't have that. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Watermelon actually puts fluids into your body. And they're like, oh no, he can't have the watermelon because of the sodium. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? What?
Sodium.
I said, Dad, shove that watermelon in your mouth and just don't even listen to this woman. I was like, what are you talking about? It's a natural thing. You want to pop a pill in there. That's what you want to do.
Right.
And they get money
He's
for
not
that.
opening the thing of freaking salt and chugging it. Like, come on.
I love that. I love
Celtic
that.
salt. Do
Celtic
Celtic
salt.
salt.
Celtic
Just
salt.
throwing that out
Celtic
there.
salt. All right.
Celtic salt.
Guys,
Hydrating.
we have covered a lot on the spectrum today, and I'm so grateful that we did. Gosh, you're just like family, so thank you for being here. I know we talked about a heavier topic early on. I want to give you guys this website. This is nationwide, and it's a resource you can go to get counseling and advice on either, where you can get a free ultrasound. You can get some extra parental parenting classes. If you need that help, or you just want somebody there to answer the phone to help hold your hand through a difficult decision, ProLoveMinistries.org. ProLoveMinistries.org. I don't know if you know Abby Johnson. She is really same story, really. She worked for Planned Parenthood for years, and God just showed her what that ultrasound looked like when they were aborting a baby, and she said, I can't do this anymore. ProLoveMinistries.org. Go there, and if this doesn't really pertain to you, guess what? They need your help. They need your help. They need hands and feet in the communities to love these women back to being whole. So please look out for them. We are going to pray because we never close without praying. And lastly, I want to make sure that I thank Cape Hayes Tavern right here in Florida, in Rotunda, West Florida, because they provide us with the most delicious nourishment. None of that McDonald's food. It's really, really good food. You can get in touch with them at CapeHayesTavern.com. Let's go ahead and pray. Join us at home. And ladies, if you want to jump in, jump in. All right. Father God, we just come before you, the five of us united here on this set, Father. Your word says when two or more are gathered and they pray and they agree according to your word that it will be done. So, Father, I, with these wonderful, powerful women here, I want to stand in the gap for those listening and watching, or even those seated here who need that healing, that touch of healing, Father, whatever it is in their past and in our past that we feel traumatized from, or that we feel unjustly taken advantage of, or decisions and choices that we have made, Father God. We know that your goal is to cover us with the blood of Jesus so that we do not see the sin any longer. So, Lord, I pray for that special healing. I pray for those people who might be tuning in right now, Lord, and being faced with a tough decision. Lord, that you put your angels, your helper angels right there with them, that people would see hope in love, in life, and in pursuing life, Father God. Let's help us rewrite this story in our culture that says that somehow life is not a miracle, because it is, Father. And I just ask that your guiding hand would be over our nation and over our families and our households through that. And if anybody else has anything they'd like to add, we're good. Father God, you know the hearts and the minds of those watching. Go in and be real in their lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Gosh, thank you so much, guys, and thank you, Homefront audience. If you want to see replay, or you want to, binge on the Homefront, go to thehomefront.tv/replay. We'll see you next time. Take care.